Hello, welcome back to my series on how to pass examinations without tears. We just finished looking at why students fail examinations, in which we considered the pre-examination factors, point of examination factors, and post-examination factors. If you missed these episodes, you can find them here. While discussing the point of examination factors, I mentioned poor examination skills as one of the factors responsible for failure. Today I will be discussing on how to develop effective examination skills. There are different types of examination. These are multiple choice exams, popularly called objective examinations, problem or case-based examinations, oral examinations, open book and take-home examinations, and essay examinations. I will emphasize today on how to answer essay questions. Most examinations constitute essay questions. Many students do not know how to approach these questions. The wise man said, "The labor of the foolish wearieth every one of them, because he knoweth not how to go into the city." I told you a story of one of my mates while we were in the School of Basic Studies. He had so much content. He could teach us, but at the end of the day, when he goes into the exam hall, putting it down becomes a problem. And that is why it is important I tell us on how to answer essay questions during examinations. There are three critical components of an essay answer. Number one is the introduction. Number two, the content. And number three, we have the conclusion. The content usually is the main work you are presenting, but there is always need for a good introduction. Introduction is usually not more than 5 lines. It should point the examiner to your main point and should naturally lead to the content. Now, content is the main body of your essay. It contains your main answer to the questions, and you will give details of the concepts, theories, illustrations, and examples. You should take each point as a paragraph. Don't lump 2 or 3 points in one paragraph. Students make that mistake. They bury points. You have 2 or 3 points in one single paragraph, and sometimes the point is lost. That is when the examiner is trying to score you, he may miss some of those points, particularly if they are so woven that it does not distinguish one point from the other. So in fact, use the explanation of the points in your jottings as paragraphs. If you have 5 points, let them be 5 paragraphs. In essay writing, make your points very clear. Support your writing with sufficient evidence and let your ideas flow progressively throughout the essay. So content is very, very important. Then you have a conclusion. Conclusion is a summary of the main points raised in your content. It should not be more than 3 to 5 lines. Essay answers require a marking guide called marking scheme. The marking scheme is a plan or guidelines used in marking essays by the examiner. And a good examiner will always prepare a marking scheme. The correct answers are spelled out, and the location of marks is indicated in the scheme. A typical marking scheme gives scores to introduction, content, and conclusion. Usually, introduction will take about 10 to 20% of the marks. The content will take about 60 to 70%, and the conclusion will take about 10 to 20%. Sometimes marks are also awarded for illustration and scholarship. I've been an examiner for several years, and I discovered that only few students give introduction to their essay answers or write any conclusion at all. The implication is that between 20 to 40% of the score is lost even before the grading commences. Because if 20%, for example, is for introduction, and you do not write an introduction, then it is 0. Additional marks are also lost when there are no illustrations when necessary. examples, and so on. And there's no evidence of scholarship. Because when you just quote, you drop it, there will be no evidence of scholarship. The evidence of scholarship is your ability to have the points organized, put them in the correct sequence, one progressively leading to the other, and concluding appropriately. That gives you some extra marks for scholarship. Most people write only content, and they are limited to about 60% of the marks, or about 80 at maximum. So if you want to score the maximum possible marks in an essay, make sure you introduce your topic, write a relevant, legible, and logical content, and conclude appropriately. Let me share with you briefly a summary of what a marking scheme looks like. Examine the significance of land use, land cover types on urban climate. This marking scheme is divided into introduction, content, and conclusion. Introduction carries 2 marks. Content, we have 2 items in the content. One, we have a description of the urban land use, land cover. That carries 5 marks. Then there's a relation between the urban land use and land cover and the urban climates. That is 5 marks. Then suitable conclusion, 1 mark. Then illustration. Illustration doesn't necessarily have to be drawing. It could be in form of examples, suitable examples, suitable statistics. That should serve for illustration. And that will take 1 mark. And then scholarship, 1 mark. Total, 15 marks. Let me give you this tip. Attempt all the questions. Do not leave any question unanswered. If you have sufficiently tackled the ones you know, just write any related material to the non-understood question. You are likely to score 1 or 2 points additional, and that is not for nothing. That could make a difference between 59 and 60, and between 69 and 70. You may even be surprised that the question you thought you did not tackle has fetched you significant marks. To round off, make sure you introduce your topic, give a good content, and conclude appropriately. Don't forget to use illustrations where necessary. And don't forget to write in such a way that you could earn yourself some scholarship points. Your success in any essay examination is guaranteed with these simple steps and simple procedure. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, drop them in the description box below and I will address them. If you rather remain anonymous, you can send me a personal message by clicking the link in the description below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click on the notification bell to be the first to know about my upcoming videos.